Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Bearded Bear Customs Fixed Cup. Tonight here we had to Rockingham. Unfortunately, my other app that I use had expired, so I'm working with this one. So my apologies. I'm trying to get all that fixed. Here, Road America. Big old track. I don't have no information on it.
Well, luckily for you, Brian, I do.
There you go.
Road America, located in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. So, just over 4 miles long, 14 turns road course here. If you've ever seen a motorcycle, North AMS or AMR, what's it called? North, anyway, the super bikes, the Superbike North America Challenge, or whatever it's called, races here. And man, there's actually a little chicane before you go into the kink on the not so straight away here at Road America, that they had to do that to slow the bikes down, because man, as we know, Brian, motorcycles very dangerous, very fast, lethal racing machines. Anyway, yes, just over 4 miles in length, 6.5 kilometers for any European listeners out there, or that love to use the metric system. We're not in the matrix yet, Brian, are we? Anyway, everything has raced here except for Formula One. It's not a Formula One grade 1 or level 1 spec track, so it's a grade 2 FIA certified track. So, IMSA races here, IndyCar races here, NASCAR used to race here, Brian. I think the Xfinity Series, no NASCAR, only IndyCar, sports car, IMSA, Sports Car Club, America GT World Challenge. Man, they really extended that name this year. Trans Am, and the Motorbike America Superbike Championship races here now. Nothing NASCAR scheduled anymore, but thankfully to iRacing, we can still race here. NASCAR has held only 3 cup races here historically, but multiple Xfinity races. They ran here over 10 years. Here are just over 10 years here at Road America. Fantastic races every time, Brian. You never know what you were going to get or expect to see at Road America. Brendan Gaughan won a race one year here. Carl Edwards, Ron Fellows, the list goes on. Reed Sorensen, the list goes on of so many countless, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, and I believe the original in 1956 to one here. I just had it here. Tim Flock was the 3 Cup Series winners here. So this race this evening, though, Brian, it's going to be pretty treacherous out there on track. It is really, really, freaking hot out there. So
Oh yeah, I agree with you, Will. Very
Originally,
hot, very slick.
the first race held on this closed course, because this is a closed course, Brian. It may look like, at one time it could have just been, countryside and hills, because it looks so, American majestic, hillside roads, right? But there was at one point in with Wisconsin where there was a 6.5 mile long track where they competed before Road America was ever built. So just imagine racing on something 6.5 miles. This is 4 miles. That would be basically the American equivalent of racing at Le Mans, almost. So, my oh my. This is the American equivalent of racing at Spa. That's what a ton of European drivers say, or even American drivers that get to go to Europe, Brian, say, "What man? When you race at Spa, then you come back, or if you have raced at Road America, you go race at Spa." It's like just both are so similar, they say. So. And in a way, they are correct, because I've never got to experience neither in person, but thankfully in the digital world, the sim world, I have. So I feel like they can feel like they drive similarly. They both have loads of hills and very great corners. There's one particular part on each track where you kind of get down to a slow enough speed right here at well, not here particularly, but at turn 5 down the first back straightaway, where this track has two configurations. It has a sports club circuit, which is basically a big rectangular just track with the front and first back straightaway that leads into the paddock area if you just go straight down and not take a left at turn 5. That sharp left-hander at turn 5 down the back straightaway, the first back straightaway, like I said, Brian. So.
Yes, sir. All right, we should be good now. I'm trying to get it. I just paid it, so hopefully it'll work. Yes, there we go. That's what I needed.
Watch Jason Pearson here on his qualifying lap. Or laps. I'm not sure how many you gave him, Brian. 1 or 2 or 3?
2 laps for I think 10 minutes.
Gotcha. Well, whatever best 2 laps you can get, right, in that 10-minute window. Is that what you mean?
We're running well.
All right.
But they said it was invalid.
Oh.
Jason got an invalid lap there, so he might have went more off the track there than iRacing allowed. So Brian has not fixed his audio yet to where we can't hear the drivers. So normally he does that, but I'm okay. Yeah, because sometimes
my voice should be working. We should be good. Yes.
Oh yeah, we
got him back. Well, got him back.
Brandon Moore currently at the top of the leaderboards with a 2:14.7. Jaden Sanchez a 2.5 behind him. Austin Moore right there with Jaden just about. So currently 9 drivers have attempted to make a lap of some kind.
I'm gonna go over to start for you. So P1 would be Brandon Moore, P2 would be Jaden Sanchez, P3 would be Austin Moore, P4 would be Tyler Myers, P5 would be Chris Cornett, P6 would be Justin Steves, P7 will be Chris Campbell, P8 would be Aaron Bradford, P9 will be Pete Woodrum, P10 will be Jason Pearson, P11 would be Joe Stipe, P12 would be Clint Hayful, P13 would be Paul Lawson, and P14 would be Ron Hunter. I do have if it pops up. No, darn it, it probably didn't. There we go. So these are the points going into tonight's race, Will. See there, Jaden on top with 103. Christopher Campbell second with 99. Brandon Moore P3 with 96. Philip Bridgman and fourth with 91. And all the way down. And then the race
So still,
here we go, I got it. You see here Elkhart Lake, you already said that. The weather outside is 84 degrees, 35% humidity, partly cloudy, 14 mile per hour wind, with a 75% fuel, 30 laps is 125 miles. 4 tires, and they get 0 quick fix, and they have no green white checkers. Well, the track temp is 121.
so like I said, really steamy track this evening, and that's going to play into, you know, how hot the tires will get over time. So some drivers might be trying to conserve those tires. We have 16 to 18 laps on a full tank this evening with the fuel mileage of these cars this evening, percentage-wise.
Alright, well, so at least a pit stop.
Yes, we are looking at 1 pit stop this evening. I think, like we talked about Saturday, you know, we had to up the laps about at least 5 to 10 laps on the road courses, because we wasn't really seeing a pit stop with our percentages in rebooting in the BNR series. So, you know, we just decided, well, not me, but you guys decided, Brian, to, you know, just maybe bump those laps up just to see a pit stop, to maybe see if drivers needed, because we saw how a pit stop in the truck series went at Mid-Ohio, and that really spiced things up to a certain degree and made things interesting. Pit stops always make the races interesting, and we already had a car off on the outlet warming things up. That's not too good, Brian, and we've seen that here in the real world. In this past IMSA race here, the BMW, one of the BMWs in the carousel just went straight off in the carousel. Are they really? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That's so cool. So that wind that Brian talked about how windy it is, it's a hot, windy day.
That it is. Nice little camera views as they come around. Coming around the final bend here.
And up this hill, it's gonna, you know, be a challenge working up the hill from the final corner, turn 14. You got to get that good exit off, up to speed through the gears, and green flag is out, Brian, and away we go. Everybody's going to bustle down into turn 1. Turn 1, you're going to go through some elevation changes on the front straightaway. You see how not so flat the front straightaway is, Brian. So going into turn 1,
You see up here, you got Brandon leading this pack, Will. And Jaden and Austin Moore and Cornette. That extra brake lock up. See there, Austin Moore must have locked the brakes up well. Lost a lot of time, a lot of spots on that ordeal there.
And you got to be careful going into most of these corners. Every corner, yes, you have to be careful. I always like to back up my corners just a little bit extra here at Road America. Kind of treat it like Watkins Glen. If you're familiar with the Glen, you could be halfway decent, I always said, at Road America, because it's kind of similar with the different elevation changes and how it just feels. Big off for the number 2 of Pete Woodrum. He had a moment in the carousel.
You see up there, Myers gets a little loose there.
Exactly what we talked about. Some of these corners are 90-degree corners, or are just about 90-degree corners, maybe not almost a 95, or just a off-kiltered, almost a harsh angle, just about, but you want to really pivot it, right? But you try to point it off straight as possible, maybe use a little bit more extra curbing, runoff area perhaps, but Road America doesn't really have too much. They have just enough really to play with, but you got to be careful when using it. This is a track that in the sim on iRacing, this is a quite older scan of Road America, but Road America recently had been given a facelift as far as repaved and a little bit extra runoff and everything. So, but it's still, still slick in the real world, even with the repave. Most road course repaves are kind of slick most of the time until it gets a good life progression to it.
See these guys struggling a little bit with the handling of the cars.
Turn 6, that uphill left-hander, Brian, it's a blind corner and also a blind approach because you're going uphill out of turn 5, one of the slowest corners of the track, and it's the second slowest corner that you're approaching, right? Because you're going uphill to the blind corner to the left, and it is so treacherous, and you try to hit it, but you're going to run wide almost every time.
This turn, I was practicing I could take this and brake a little bit earlier before making this turn.
For sure. That's Canada Corner. It does not face Canada, but the story behind Canada Corner is the Canadians that would come down to watch the races back in the day, the 60s and 70s, 80s, and so on, they would bring their Canadian packaged cigarettes or branding cigarettes, and the track workers and cleanup crew would find them after the race, like the packaged Canadian branding cigarettes, right? And that's where the Canadians would normally go and camp out, would be that. Oh, big lockup. That is Chris Cornette locking it up, going into turn. Oh, man, Myers into the scene. I'm going to see what happened here because I took... Okay, so Cornette goes in. Oh, Myers runs wide. And just kind of, not really T-bones, but like side swipes the 5 Tide machine there. So, man, oh man. Myers, who was running. He was knocking on the door of a top 5. I know that. I think he was right above Pearson, and then he collided with Cornette, who Cornette was inside the top 5, I believe, running 4th, and just had a big lockup going to turn 1. These cars, similar to Trans Am cars, V8 supercars, if we all know what those are. And you got to be very careful how you drive them because of sequential shifting for the most part with the V8 supercars have similar transmissions with these Gen 7 Cup cars, so very simple. Same brakes. Oh, it's so easy to wash out wide in the carousel, rolling through that corner.
Yeah, it is.
Because, like I said, if you
that might have a lot to do with it too, with that wind and just how
yes,
hot and slick the track is.
for sure, Brian. It is a challenge here today at Road America. And we are seeing the drivers having their hands full.
Well, we talked
Because
about it a little earlier that these drivers head to Darlington next week. So
Yes, indeed. We're out of our northern swing, going back down to the southeast.
yeah,
Both racing series. Saturday you guys go to Charlotte, race Charlotte, so it's kind of only fair to kind of keep the fixed series down in that area, down at Darlington. So in a way, like we're taking the swing down there. Last week we just got done with the Milwaukee Mile over here, so
yeah. So they end up staying up here, prepping their cars for this week.
yes, the immersion is real, Brian.
Oh, JP. A lot of
Yes, he's
practice
trying
they
to
gotta
work.
put in.
Exactly. Pearson trying to run back down his time that he lost from running wide in the carousel, and you also have Cornette doing the same after locking up and having a Dukes of Hazzard like slam moment with Myers as Myers made it through turn 1.
You see Joe Scott
I
off
bet
the
you.
track there?
Oh. Yeah, I believe that's turn 8 there. That is such a tricky corner before you swoop into the carousel. You want to get back to the throttle right after you get out of it, but it can be treacherous, so you got to want to wait a minute or maybe just burp it a couple of times. Don't want to spin the tires too roughly where you're going to just loop yourself around. Most of these corners, you can do that fairly easily here. It's such a very rhythmic track, Brian.
But Brandon Moore will. He's got a big lead over Jaden there.
Oh, yes, he does.
There goes Tyler.
He lost it in that little kink section there coming to the final corner of the track. I don't think anybody hit him or T-boned him. I think he was able to recover it. But he got that left rear, Brian. He got that, he got the right rear off on the right side of the track, Brian, so.
That he did. And when you get that right side off, it's going to pull you at least into the grass or into that.
Yeah, it's going to dig.
As they say.
For sure.
Sand. So.
Yeah, there's not really a sim that kind of, I guess, F1 kind of stops you depending on how much damage your car has. Like, it'll kind of, like the gravel traps in F1 kind of catch you in a way, but there's not really a sim where, like, the gravel traps actually truly work. Like, But even depending on like the speed and how the crash happens, it's not necessarily going to work anyway. But in theory, they're great to have. Yes, like if you, but like we've seen before in the real world, like depending on the crash, like it's not going to completely do its job. But Brandon Moore out to over a 10-second lead, 12 and a half. My bad, Brian. Yes, go ahead.
As I say, you see here Pearson up the back end of Bradford there for 5th place. Bradford's
yes,
having
indeed.
a good run at the moment. Right now, well, we just hit that 25 laps to go mark, so.
Yes, indeed, 25 to go. Like we talked about, needing a pit stop. All these drivers needing a pit stop, expecting that to happen between 15 to 18 laps into this race. So, assuming that'll be probably around, we hit 25 to go now. Pit stops might start happening around anywhere from 18 laps to go to 14 to go, Brian. So
it's the battle for 5th place, Will.
Yes, Bradford, Pearson, and Chris Cornett. Yes, Chris Cornett, CC. Oh, did somebody lock up and run into somebody? This is Pearson off track in turn 1. Let's rewind it and see what happens. Because we were riding on board with Pearson. Or I think he straight locks up, Brian. Oh man, because you're carrying so much speed down this front straightaway.
Yeah, he's worried about passing Bradford and just mistimed his turn there.
I truly wonder if the wind today has something to do with this as well, because man, they are really carrying the speed down into turns 1 and 2. No telling, possibly 180 at least, if not more. 85. It's been a good minute since I've had a good rough guesstimate about what a cup car can do at going down the front straightaway here at Road America, Brian. But you know the speeds that these cars are capable of. So we all do. If you can just get that good exit off the final corner, get uphill through the gears, up all 5 gears, maybe down the front straightaway, I don't see why not. If you can get a good enough exit off that final corner.
Pit stops are going to be key. Well, who pits early, who don't. But Brandon being so far out like that, I think Brandon's all right. It's just really going to be that battle for 2nd place, Will.
Yes, indeed, the battle for 2nd place. Can Jaden keep it locked in key? Because if Jaden stays consistent, if he keeps showing up, he's won some races. He's locked away with some good points. That does not mean he's locked in. There's no playoff here. But it's just keep showing up, keep finishing good, keep running good. You don't have to necessarily win, but maximize your points day, right? So minimize the mistakes, right? So, but one of the key factors in having a good points day is your competitors not having a good points day as well, right, Brian? So Brandon Moore is one of the points competitors. He's trying to run away from or maybe take a good sized lead, keep hitting those balls out of the park. But whenever you have a competitor like Brandon Moore that you're facing up against, oh man, that's excruciating pain that you got to go through to try to be just as good as Brandon or Brian, how tough it can be going for championships.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It can be very frustrating, especially when you know you have a good car and you know what you're capable to bring to the track. You see here we ride on board with the leader here, Brandon Moore. Hitting his marks, doing everything right. Hopefully he don't step on his foot, and you know. But anyway. Brandon Moore with a 15, almost 16-second lead, Will.
Yes, indeed, Brian. So the top 4 or 5, shall we say, I would say the top 4, separated by some good chunks. You got chunks of separation in the top 4 as far as gapage goes. And then Chris Cornett and Aaron Bradford, they can still see each other. So Cornett just got by Bradford again. He's on a comeback drive. He was one of the drivers so far that has had a moment or an off that was, I would say, was kind of big. Like I'm surprised he is not pitted, or because Tyler Myers really. Oh, we've had another off. I think that might be Hayville, but yeah, just very surprised that Myers and both Cornett just still wheeling and dealing those machines, Brian, after the tough hit we saw them take in turn 1.
Oh yeah. Treacherous,
Because turn 1 can be another blind corner because for sure.
I forgot how quick that turn 1 comes up, especially after going uphill and then back downhill, carrying all that speed and then getting slowed down in time to hit your marks, and then just over thinking that you're going to be good, but with the hydraulic brakes, which I do believe this is what they are, and a big massive cylinder, so you got to really be on the brakes and slow your car down.
For sure. And with these low profile tires, that yes, it may be a wide tread of tire, the bald racing tires, right? That's what these Goodyear Eagles are, but unless you're racing in the rain, but then you have tread. But anywho, yes, you gotta really try to, I don't want to say baby back to the throttle, but just be gentle. Just you know, you don't want to rev up those tires too much. You don't want to hurt them.
As you see here, Joe Stipe looking to get by Lawson. Lawson just
Track
taking
map,
his
nope.
time. He's taking his time, pacing himself, getting used to the track. He's trying to have a clean race and get out of everybody's way. If you're not a road course guy, then man, this is a tough track. So
Exactly. I mean, you know, at least he's putting in an effort. You know, he hasn't. Nothing has happened so far. So, like you said, still learning everything. Still trying to get his feet a bit more wetter. So that's always good to see. At least he's making an effort, Brian. That's always what I always say kind of counts. Now, unless you're like a true rolling chicane, then you know you came to know when to. And we have seen when drivers are. We have seen when drivers are like, okay, I've truly had enough, and they do, you know. So there's Hayville. You know, you do see drivers that do put up an effort. They do move, get out the way. They try their best. They're always observant. So that's what you love to see, and the drivers that do make at least a good Class B, Class A effort. You know, that's what you love to see.
yeah,
You never want to try to give anyone an F or a C or a D. You always want to give somebody a good passing grade.
this track is hard. We know it.
Extensionally hard. And man,
That was probably just Hayville getting out the way the best that he can, and didn't want to get in the way of, you know, really anybody who was leading in the pack here. So you see there, JP though, Brad. Ooh, what a save!
What a save indeed, and that is the battle for 6th and 7th as Cornett has got by
6, 7,
these
and 8.
two. Yes, Myers He is behind them, so
Myers just carries very good speed through that turn there.
yeah, the little kink there on the back straightaway before you come into what is kind of a chicane.
Man.
Oh, man, indeed. As Bradford looked for the window of opportunity on the inside of the corner, but Pearson decided to turn later, and just a racing accident into Canada corner.
Yep, but JP's good though, so he would pace himself. So
I think Myers got by. Yes, he did. So he got a 2-for-1 as Bradford and Pearson made the touch and collided with one another. Like I said, Pearson just decided to brake a little bit later, I believe, turn later, and Bradford was like, okay, well, I'm going to try it, and for sure, that is a good passing corner to make, put that person in front of you in a compromising position, kind of put your nose out there. I don't want to say it was a late lunge by AB, but still, I would say, expected racing maneuver if there was someone behind me going into that corner. I would almost expect it to almost look to happen. But maybe Pearson, like I said, I think Pearson was trying to counter it. Like I said, he was trying to run a little bit. It felt like wide, and because he was maybe expecting it. As these two, I think this has been one of the closest battles on track from the start. Yeah, they got a little bit separated, but Pearson had his moment, and Bradford's just been almost minding his own race here, which that's what you got to do at a road course. It doesn't matter if you're quick or not. You just got to try to keep it on the island, mind your own race. I think Bradford had the off in turn 1, so I think they both had an off. Pearson had his in the carousel.
I think so. Bradford carried a little bit too much speed there, but you see,
Yes, he did.
It's better for this turn.
Pearson was able to just hit the kink a little bit better than Bradford there, but Pearson dips his tires off in the grass too. So that battle might be settled just for the moment. Chris Cornett getting by Hayfield. So Brandon Moore, Jaden Sanchez, Austin Moore, Christopher Campbell, and Chris Cornett in the top 5 currently. Pete Woodrum kind of in danger of going a lap down. Let me find my track map here. Yes, indeed. So just a few seconds away, Brandon Moore should be in Pete's mirror.
That was Brandon coming right back there.
So
There you go, just moving out the way.
out of respect by Pete there, he's like, hey, I'm running my race. You come on now. So
Oh, he's pitting.
well, maybe he feels, Brian, that he can make it from here. Like we talked about, 16, 18, 19 laps possibly. There is exactly 19 laps to go, so this could be when the window of pits open up here.
Yep. Either this time or
sure.
next time. Oh, Cornette's off track. Oh no. Oh, what a save. Off of them tire barrels.
Epic save indeed. That's going to set him back maybe one position. I'm not sure if anybody was able to catch him. Let me see here. Yes, you're right. Myers ran him down in that little moment that he had in the final corner, coming to the final corner. I'm not sure if he braked or maybe just wheel hopped into the corner, perhaps. Could have had some brake shake. These cars are a little bit have been can be known to brake shake a little bit, if anyone knows what that is. Almost similar to locking up, but just to where the car is just a bit unruly under braking is the best way to truly describe it without going into too much more detail.
You see Brandon Moore is coming around the last turn there. Is he going to pit? Nope, he's staying out. Oh no, something happened to Aaron Bradford. I think he hit that rumble strip a little too hard. Or coming up here, locked it down, maybe hit those tires. Lost the rear and then... Well, you see there a little brake check. A little lockups, that I mean. And then coming around the bend there.
Yes, we talked about how earlier that corner can really catch people out. Coming up the hill, turning left, almost a 90 degree, 75 degree-ish left-hander.
Oh yeah, you see the 5 is pitting this time, so...
Is that a fire alarm?
It's somewhere at the track.
Wait, what?
That was at the track.
On iRacing? Seriously?
Yes. I think it makes that noise when every time somebody comes in the pits. I don't know.
I know it does, like on European road courses, if I'm not mistaken, whenever a car, like it's a little bitty, and it sounds like a little buzzer or something, like almost like a whistle. I've never heard that before.
Well, now you did. But Brandon's setting the pace tonight, Will.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we've seen before recently in the past how extremely great Brandon Moore can be on these road courses. He is just, anytime where you gotta, like, you know, just be so smooth, that is just about Brandon's speciality, is just being smooth, and that's what you need on road courses, smooth rhythm. And when you can just add all that up, it's gonna click. JP looks like he could be running back down Myers after some problems there.
There you go. You got it back going. See the 5 there hits the wall.
Oh man, Cornette was driving back and
You see Joe Stipe just going to
he
move
just come
over.
out to. Did he? I'll
Yeah, he
speak,
just
Willie.
came out the pits.
I was about to say, I wonder if he just came out the pits on cold, fresh tires, possibly, Brian. If that's an outlap, oh man, because you know how treacherous these cars can be trying to heat the tires up on any track, and especially a road course. It's almost like driving on ice, and especially with how hot the track is this evening.
Extra slick. Well, Brandon Moore still staying out.
Well, like I said, I think the pit window would truly close about. You would run out probably with about 14, maybe 12 to go. So.
Oh, there goes Tyler off track for position. So JP will take 5th place away from Tyler Moore. Yeah, Tyler Moore. Jesus. Tyler Myers. Forgive me. You see there, Jaden's pitting. As Austin is now going to take 2nd from Jaden. So Jaden's probably pulling a different strategy, Will, than Austin and Brandon. But Brandon's all right. Brandon's got about 42 seconds over Austin. Christopher Campbell now moves up to 3rd place. You see there, JP's going to pit. Yep, that's every time my car goes into the pits.
That is so cool.
I wonder if that alerts the
anybody standing.
Oh, Cornette.
Oh, that's coming out of turn. I believe that's turn 8, and that is going down the back straightaway. Or yeah, the first back straightaway. Like you was be going to turn number 5 for Hayville. So coming out of turn 3, I believe, turn 2B.
Yep, so Brandon Moore just pitted. Oh, 31 goes around in the back there.
That's turn number 5. He outbroke himself for turn number 5 by the looks of things, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe he could have rode the outside rumble strip going into the corner. Oh, and he just get those tires are just upset. He's trying to get up to speed uphill, trying to get the car going again.
That's them cold tires, Will. You see here, I think Austin Moore is going to come in the pits now. Yep, he's in the pits. Campbell. Oh, Tyler, fresh tires, buddy. There, and Jaden will now take back 2nd place from Austin. about almost 8-second difference between Jaden and Austin. Oh, somebody else is pitting. So Steve's, and then Brandon Bradford. I like that little buzzer thing. Wee-doo, wee-doo, wee-doo.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we got cars coming in. Brandon Moore, dominant force here tonight, Will. You see a 31 just going to move over for the 8, since the 8 car is on the lead lap, so... Cornette, Will, is in danger of going another lap down.
Yeah, it just seemed like, unfortunately, he was running good in the top 5, but just having some struggles here. A lot of drivers having either running off, dipping a tire out. You know, it's so easy to do.
Bradford is in the clutches, Will, of Brandon Moore. Oh, Campbell. Good save. That's them cold tires.
Everybody has made their pit stop, correct?
Yes.
I don't know if you want to. We could do some ride-alongs. You know, maybe crank it up if you want to.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Do we have it? Yeah, we do. There you go, guys. Enjoy.
Oh, Brian, we had a massive moment between the number 5 of Chris Cornett locking up going into turn number, that is turn number 8, I do believe here. Turn number 8. Massive moment. And right before the turn into the carousel, Brian, massive moment. Cornett under braking down the hill into the left-hander, just goes sideways, and his car's rolling back into the track, and Brandon Moore strikes him, and that is huge damage to the front end of the 88, our race leader. He's not he's missing front end. He does not have the front fascia. The front bumper is missing on his car. We do not know how much front end damage that is or will be. What the car is going to handle like. It doesn't look like the car's too towed out, but a massive shunt has taken place by the race leader. He is still in the race lead. I assume you went to the bathroom. So the last lap, Chris Cornett, going into turn number, I want to say it's turn number 8, right before the carousel, downhill, his car broke away from him, spun out. His car was rolling back onto the track, and just unfortunate, Brandon Moore strikes him, and
he gets to him, and then unfortunately just the nature of the beast.
Look at this, because Cornett, he just out brakes himself, and the car locks up, and he's going to run wide. And him running wide, he's going to get off in the grass. Once you get off in the grass, up, and pow, Brandon Moore strikes him. He has this huge lead, Brian, huge lead. So you could maybe make a mistake, but a mistake like this is not of your own doing mistake, just a unfortunate of the racing gods will be done.
Well, he ain't got to worry about overheating.
Well, you don't, hopefully not. Hopefully no radiator or fan damage, any cooling damage was done when the front fascia was taken off of that car, Brian. Just that is drastic turn of events. Almost speechless.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to hurt him with the gap that he has. So I think
we're going to find out if he's down on horsepower, perhaps, or if Jaden is able to close down this gap. That's for sure. Because oh my goodness, Brian. This is a 4-mile track. I mean, you can drive into another incident around the corner or just in front of you. I mean, Cornett was just in front of the race leader when that occurred, and oh man.
Jaden's in the pits again.
Oh, unscheduled pit stop for Jaden. What occurred? Let's go on board with Jaden. Maybe something happened. His car looks intact. I wonder what could be the problem for Sanchez. His car looks fine. This is our second place runner here.
Yeah, he might have not have taken any fuel. Or enough fuel.
Good point, because his car, it doesn't look like he's had an off or backed into anything. Man.
Yeah, he might have not have taken enough fuel.
What a turn of events here that has happened in the past few laps. That'll put Austin Moore, no relation to Brandon Moore. You know, they are no relation, just spelled identically, same last names as if it was Will Roberts in this race. But it's not. We need to get him over here, Brian. He's a
Yeah.
he's a swell dude, but Austin Moore, that'll put Austin in second place. Austin normally, if I'm not mistaken, he's normally a Saturday goer, but he loves the road courses, gives it a good shot. And he said, man, it's awful slick out here this evening in practice. So all the drivers were saying how slick it was because of the temperatures, Brian. So handful of condition this evening.
Oh yeah.
Coming to, we are 10 laps to go now, Brian. And to look at our track map there for a minute. Make sure where old Brandon Moore was. Ooh, Brandon Moore drives this to the victory. I might as well call him like Terry Labonte or Tim Richmond or somebody after colliding with somebody and missing a bumper. David Pearson, somebody like that. But, my oh my, he'll probably look at the front of his car and just be like, oh, just another day,
That's Brandon.
Indeed.
Absolutely, Avery. Thank you for tuning in. This is our B&R fix side of things. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of misfortunes. You see that lock up there in front of Cornette of Jaden. You see Jaden's gonna lose. We're good.
Yes. Jaden was able to safely gather it back up, keep it straight, even though he had a moment in the kitty litter. So, very simple to lock it up going downhill, as we know and see. So that's kind of what happens. It's a slight grade downhill section into that 2A, 2B section of the track turn. Oh, he is using them up, that's for sure. He's still sitting in the top three. He's barely holding on to the podium. Christopher Campbell is only 20 some odd seconds behind Brian. Almost called you Brandon. I'm speaking to him a bit too early, I guess.
Dang it. The Tigers are beating the Yankees.
It's only preseason. It doesn't matter.
You know me, I'm a big
I tell you this every year. Preseason doesn't matter. Get that out your head. There's no sense in going out there tearing your ACL if it's just preseason now, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay. But yeah, man, these drivers really having to wheel and deal, handle these cars here this evening. That's what you love to see out of any racing competitor, having to get up on the wheel, drive it, manhandle it. As Mother Nature not being too kind as far as just, you see how gusty of a wind we have this evening with the trees. If we go and look at the back stretch cam, looking into the kind of the forest or the shrubbery that we have here at Road America. I'll spit it out in a minute.
Guess the dogs want to say hello over there barking.
Yes. No problem.
But Jaden, driving extra hard to get back up to the best he can to get caught back up to Austin Moore.
It's about, what is that, about 15 seconds back from Austin. If we can do the math there with that, Aaron's do the math. About 15, 20 seconds back from Austin, and he's got about a 30-second gap to Campbell. So he's got a safe, locked, sure podium position. Don't need to make no more mistakes. Hopefully got the fuel in there this time. If that wasn't the case, we will hopefully get to ask him. Christopher Campbell, though, with a top 5 run at the moment. Jason Pearson 5th. That rounds out the top 5. Tyler Myers in 6th position. Justin Steves, he's the first competitor 1 lap down if we was to get some type of mysterious caution was to waive. iRacing, road races don't normally do that, but I always say if I was a race director, I'm just saying. AB having a problem. It looks like in Canada corner, so could be maybe the winds or just could have outbroke himself into the corner. One of the possibilities that we have just seen here this evening, so many chances of making mistakes here at Road America.
That Bradford's back in the pits. But Brandon Moore, still doing good.
We got 2 JSs. We got Justin Steves and Jaden Sanchez.
Yes.
Just like we got, technically we got 3 because Joe Stipe.
Yes.
Yes.
Justin Steves and Jaden Sanchez. There's Cornette off in the kitty litter.
Oh, I thought that was riding on board what it sounded like to be on board with Brandon Moore. I'm thought, man, if I'm hearing all that racket, I'm going to pit to fix this, but that was not. Okay. As if, Brian, if you would have told me that's our race leader currently, I would have been like, oh, well, he's missing a bumper. Yes, you are indeed right. He is missing a bumper. Well, he had a collision, but looks like that car is still pointed straight as far as the steering and the toes and everything. So he has kept it out there, still driving it. Tyler Myers has kind of had the same incident happen, but he didn't lose his front fascia. I guess he didn't hit him hard enough because Brandon Moore hit him a ton. So it's a little bit faster corner than I guess what. Well, no, turn 1 should have been. Anywho, let's not debate it. Like I said, there's a handful of corners that's a average speed here, and then there's a really flowy rhythm feel to this track. So there's so many different ways you could carry the speed into each corner. Like I always said, I would just always back up every corner possible if I can always back them up. Like I said, you're always just driving the track. Oh, as Hayville has another moment this time into turn 5, he could have possibly rode that far right rumble strip.
Straddled that rumble strip there, and it probably upset the car by throttling or maybe braking, because that would be a brake zone. So tricky track.
You know that Queen song, Brian, Fat Bottom Girls? So these cars have a flat bottom. So basically replace, the word fat with flat. And, flat bottom cars, if you hit a bump, you're really going to go round.
Yes. I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I can think of some good song parody lyrics if I need to.
Well, I don't think that with him not having a front ain't hurting him too much.
No, not at all. It's as if he had a run-in at Martinsville or something, maybe Bristol, and not too, I guess not hard enough of an impact to like kill the motor or like kill the coolant of the motor, because that's basically what's hiding behind the bumper, or that I don't want to say reinforced steel bar there, but that's kind of almost what it looks like on a Gen 7 car, right? But right in front of the chassis. Yeah.
Oh, Myers goes off again.
think it's like kind of made similar to like a safer barrier. Like it gives, but it's like it's almost like I don't want to say it's steel, but it's some type of giving metal, and it's supposed to be very, like I just said, it's supposed to be giving, but it's also supposed to take a hit.
Yeah.
And as we've seen, it's I guess it's good to drive a Chevrolet Gen 7 Cup car, because Tyler Myers and both Brandon Moore has hit basically, I almost want to say almost T-boned, for sure the same competitor, not just unfortunate luck really, but I guess it's just safe to be in a Chevrolet, Brian. Pick a Chevrolet. I guess if you pick a Toyota or like a Mustang, like the Dark Horse, it's like, now we can't take those hits. I don't know really what would be different than the body, because all these chassis, in theory, they're all the same. The only difference is the bodies, right?
Yes, sir. According to that,
excuse me.
according to iRacing itself, that's the only difference. But 5 laps to go. Brandon Moore still with a 46-second lead over Austin Moore. Once again, no relations at all. Hey!
And got to remember,
the Devils beat the Blues.
All right, hockey. I suppose, if you are those fans, or know if you're the other. And I'm not too big on the hockey. Used to kind of. Anywho, so this track you're getting around in just over 2 minutes, almost a 2.25 minute lap time, right? So something like that, and it is a challenge that we know. So we know that the looks like top 8 at the moment aren't fully in danger. Tyler Myers kind of almost is in danger. I would say when Brandon Moore is going down the front straightaway, Tyler might be able to see him in his mirror, maybe. But 5 laps to go here, Brian. Coming to 4 at the start-finish line once Brandon gets there. We've talked about it. Some drivers have really been off the island tonight. It looks like they really struggling trying to get paddling back to the island, but currently who's sitting at the head of the table is Brandon Moore.
Acknowledge him.
Gotta throw that in there, I guess. Just.
Well, I mean, he's the head of the table. So.
Have you seen that? I guess he's a Texas weatherman. Like, he always does like song lyric stuff, or like throws like
yes.
songs in his. Dude.
Brandon, go B. Oh no! Almost. Oh. That was almost close. Almost another coming together with Bradford and Brandon. That really would have done a number.
Brandon, just with the great evasive driving. Is Virginia Raceway, like Virginia Raceway Park, on iRacing?
Yes. VIR?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm just kidding. Because that track is narrower than this at certain spots. Like it now. Anyway, we don't need to give drivers PTSD. I mean, they already have it. Come on. Yep, 4 laps to 3.5. 3.5 laps to go. Might as well say.
Yeah, you might as well. Because Brandon's about halfway around the track already, so. Fixing to put Tyler Myers a lap down. I'm sure a lot of these guys will be happy to see Darlington next week.
Oh, some will, some won't, because, the lady in black, that's always, some drivers love it, some hate it, Brian. So we're going to talk about, oh, for sure, it is. It is. I had a couple of good moments or times where I ran good, in my little sim racing career, and then I just, after that, never ran good again, so.
Yep. Uh-oh. I'm going to delete the wrong one. Oh, I didn't. Maybe I did. Oh, you gonna take me home tonight?
Oh, now I got it stuck in your head now. Oh, okay, my apologies, but yes, indeed. So, more. Sanchez, Campbell, Pearson. That's the top 5 here tonight at the moment. And the closing stages, pending anything else happens or more mistakes in the closing miles of the race. Remember, 4-mile track, so you may think, oh, a lap around here. Brian, I'll be right with you. Just, I'm running a lap at Road America, and you're like, I'm waiting.
Right.
You're like, So, I would like to see, how Roger Penske is wanting the World Endurance Championship to race at Indianapolis, to hold a 6 or 8 hour endurance race at Indianapolis. Now that he got IMSA to go there and hold an endurance race at Indianapolis, he wants the WEC to go there. I think, my personal honest opinion is, I think out of so many great American road racing tracks that America has, the WEC should go to Road America and hold at least a 6 hour race at Road America. Have multiple dates in America, instead of maybe just add one more date to your calendar around the time that you would be going to Austin, because they go to Circuit of the Americas, Brian. So, maybe go to Road America first. If you can get a date with Road America before Austin, go down to COTA, and then you're going, I think they go to Brazil, or anyway, it's a similar thing to what F1 does, right? So.
Yes, sir.
That's what I would be thinking if I could help create, the World Endurance calendar, because I think, sports cars race. Watch a sports car race here. It's so awesome at Road America, and I think the World Endurance Championship would be. Oh, excuse me. It would be a great addition, but unfortunately, we don't have anything to do with those series. But Campbell's going to lose a position.
Yes, he is.
To Pearson. He overdrove turn. I want to say that's turn 6 at the top of the hill. He probably saw. Do you think Pearson being in his mirror, he was like, oh man, I got this pressure in the late stages of the race. Oh man, oh no. And maybe, or just, like I said, could have just overdrove it. He might have not have been looking in the mirror. He could have been just confident and just maybe too confident going through that corner. Like I said, that has caught off a lot of drivers tonight. Just how uphill, blind, how hard of a challenge it is. And just no room for mistakes here at Road America. If you dip your tires off, Pete Woodrum in the 2 car having a mistake going through the carousel.
Very costly.
And that's right in front of the race leader, but luckily he was, far enough away before he hit the bumps out in the grass. I've actually seen a GT3 car in the GT Fanatec Challenge America series do something similar to what Pete Woodrum just did. It was a gnarly wreck.
Brandon will take the white flag this time.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, sir. But JP, in a mind of his own there with Joe Stipe, just turning laps, pacing himself. Very tough track, I would say. If you're not comfortable, this is a bad track to try to get comfortable on, that's for sure.
I would have to say so indeed, because every corner it seems comes up so fast, so quick. These straightaways are ever long at times. You can get lost on this road course so easily.
Oh yeah, I would say.
Where is our race leader, Brandon Moore?
About to come through the final turn there. Boy, his brakes were glowing. Oh,
that's going through the carousel.
It's not the final turn.
You're good. Brandon Moore really has been working since the start of the green flag, really, since they barreled into turn one for the first time of asking everything out of his car, getting all he can get each and every corner, every lap. Really hasn't made too many mistakes. It's just unfortunate driving into a mistake, really, that happened. But other than that, clean race. If I'm not mistaken, he started on the pole, and he going to lead every lap of asking Brian. So, dominant performance, dominant day. Brandon Moore coming off the final corner. He's going to run up that hill and take the checkered flag here tonight in the Bearded Bear Customs.
There you go. I see Austin Moore coming through.
Yes, Austin. Final sector of the track here. Let's turn, I want to say, now turn 13. Coming to turn 14, he's going to pivot that car towards the hill as well. He will finish in the runner-up spot in second place. Jaden Sanchez will be our next third place competitor that we will keep our eye on. Here is Jaden. So a good points day for Jaden, you'd have to say, Brian, after having he won back-to-back.
Yes. Back-to-back
So
weeks.
his kind of winning streak kind of comes to an end there, done by Brandon Moore. So that's our podium finishers. Brandon Moore, Austin Moore, remember no relation, and Jaden Sanchez, top three. Jason Pearson, Christopher Campbell rounds out the top five. Tyler Myers, Justin Steves finishes one lap down in 6th and 7th place. Pete Woodrum, 8th. Aaron Bradford, 9th. Joe Stipe, 10th. Hayfield in the 31 finishes 11th. Chris Cornett, 12th.
He's out of gas.
Yes, Pearson is out of gas, but he's still going to make it to the finish, Brian.
Yep.
So everybody's either on their cool down lap or trying to get back to the pits, or whatever you need to do to make yourself still officially finished in that position, right, Brian? So
Yes, sir.
as we talk to everybody, because you still got to finish out your lap that you were on. Here are the race results. Yes, indeed. So, like I just listed.
Whoops. There we go. So we'll scrounge up. Oh look, they're already in there. So I guess we'll go ahead and talk to Jaden. Okay.
Well, finishing in that final spot on the podium, Jaden Sanchez here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Jaden, tell us about how treacherous of a track the temperature was out there for everybody tonight, how everybody was having to deal with that, trying to keep it on that island, and why did you have to make a second, to our knowledge, unscheduled pit stop? What happened, bud?
Yeah, no. Apparently, I didn't realize that the fuel you start with also, what's it called? It depends. The fuel you start with depends on how much you push during a qualifying. So, apparently, me pushing kind of in the qualifying kind of took the 2 gallons I needed out. So, like, Brandon and Austin both started with, like, 14, 15 gallons of fuel, and I started off with, like, 12, 13, requiring me to make that second pit stop. So, yeah, I was kind of screwed to begin with, but it's okay. Race was alright. I mean, my car is still in one piece, so,
Yeah, it is. There's a few that's not.
Yeah, no. I mean, I didn't collide with anyone today, so I guess that's alright. That's good. Second in the
still points. A good solid points day.
Yeah, second in the points, 2 behind Brandon. So, I mean, still early in the season, so anything can happen. So, yeah, no, we'll rally to Darlington and see if we can survive there, because I know that's a pretty hard track to race at, but if you get it right, it can be awesome. So, yeah, no, we'll see what we can do there. But, yeah, congrats to Brandon. Thanks for the broadcast, like always. Good run for Austin. I know, he's had bad luck, I think, these last couple races in both sides, so it's good to see him up there. And, yeah, we'll move on to Darlington and try to execute there. So.
Well, thanks for talking to us tonight, Jaden. Like I said, you probably wanted at least, that second place. Like you said, you could keep at least, a tight points hold. You and Brandon battling. You guys really close with this championship. Early goings, like you said, in the season. Still early days. But thanks for talking to us tonight. Like you said, next week, Darlington, you got Charlotte Saturday. So best of luck to you going forward, Jaden.
Thanks.
Well, he did all that in one sitting.
Fantastic kid. Hopefully he becomes like he can actually get a seat. He's got talent, Brian.
He does. Next up,
if William Byron and Raja Caruth, can do it, why can't Jaden? Anyway, next up, P2, finishing in the P2 position, Austin Moore tonight. Austin, looked like you had P3 locked up. You know, you were in your own area code riding in P3, and then Jaden had to make a unscheduled pit stop, and that set you up into second place. What were you fighting? You know, the slickness, the conditions. Tell us about it, Austin.
Obviously, I wasn't fighting nothing. The car felt I was pretty stable to bump around. I didn't even take tires on the pit stop.
Wow, didn't even take tires on the pit stop.
So you good the whole way around. The only thing I was concerned about was making sure I had enough fuel to do the strategy that I wanted to do.
So there you go. Make sure you have that strategy down packed, and that's pretty much what you always kind of have to. Another preparation mindset going into these road courses is that exact. You know, what could be the winning strategy or the best finishing strategy I can have, and. You know, we know that you're normally a pretty good, solid road course ace, or at least you know you perform well on the road courses for the most part, Austin. So good to see you running good here, finishing on the podium. If you're here next Thursday for Darlington, what do you think would be the mindset, the preparation for Darlington?
Tires. Saving your tires is probably going to be the biggest thing there. I like Darlington. It's a really good track. But if you can take care of the tires and the vehicle, really, because it's going to be hard to stay out of the wall. But that'll be the best thing.
Yes, everybody's going to be struggling not to get a Darlington stripe, like you talk about, staying out of the wall. Saturday, if you're here Saturday, you got Charlotte there for in the the open side of things, the custom side of things. So that's always a great place, to watch or even race Charlotte Motor Speedway. So any final thoughts or anything, Austin? Good finish here tonight, Austin.
It was a recent problem of the guys on the track. Not too much problem with getting around the lap cars or anything. Pretty respectable tonight by all drivers. Thank you all for showing up, really. Showing up. And I guess you're doing the broadcast. I appreciate going back and watching these races. Yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to us tonight, Austin. Go celebrate this podium finish, and best of luck to you going forward, bud.
All right, thank you, man.
Well, he was watching something. Probably hockey. Last but not least,
Now we got to pull in old
Mike Skinner here.
Hey, yeah, Mike Skinner
in the booth.
So, your train almost got derailed.
Holy shit, it did. How'd you like my modified?
Fastest modified west
Dude,
of the
that modified was fast. Dude, I threw down a 13 with that modified.
Get out of here. Shut
I
that front door. Wow.
Yeah, a 2:13.40.
It happened right in front of you. What did you think after, Cornell?
I thought it was going to meatball me.
Really? You started to see his car just step out from underneath him, and he runs wide, and I bet you were just saying to yourself in your head, you're like, don't come back out, don't, just please.
Literally come straight across the track. Literally.
Well, I don't think there was anything really he could have done. Just momentum really looked like it carried him back out. I mean, it just one of them things. Really,
in my opinion, I wasn't driving the car, and he may have done everything he did. I'm not throwing blame. But if you're spinning like that, if you just lock it down with the momentum carrying to the right, he would have spun out into the grass. He could have straightened up and drove back straight out of the grass.
The car would have, right.
Yeah, but I wasn't there. I wasn't in the car. That's just what it looked like.
You were in the car behind him, exactly. Just the innocent person to... It happens. It's part of racing. But you were able... I was surprised that the front bar on the car. If you remove the bumper, there's this front bar that almost looks like a reinforced steel beam. I told Brian
I know, it looked
jokingly,
like a modified.
yeah, it looks. I'm like, so drive a Chevrolet, Brian. Like, pick. You don't need to be in a Toyota. You don't need to be in a Ford. Apparently, you need to be in a Chevrolet. Apparently, because Myers T-boned. Unfortunately, it was Cornette as well. But like it earlier in the race, and he's in a Chevy, and I'm like, well,
I about got derailed multiple times, not just that time. I got run off on the freaking backstretch after the little tiny right-hander right there. I got run almost into the pit area.
yeah, we saw that one for sure. I'm like, oh, well, at least he's getting his evasive maneuver skills, caught up, Dude,
I was on high alert.
Well, especially with that.
I freaking needed the Call of Duty high alert, freaking Warzone over here. I needed the freaking yellow flashers.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm surprised that tornado sound didn't go off whenever you guys entered the pit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to hear that, do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that beat.
You hear it?
Yeah, we get to hear it.
What does it sound like from inside the car? Do you hear
it sounds like a freaking tornado siren. Exactly what Brian said. I'm like, what is that noise?
Yeah.
Yes. What are we talking about? Darlington next week for the B&R fixed Cup Series side of things on the Thursday nights here, Thursday evenings. So Darlington next week. Well, first off, what was the track conditions like? Before you slide your way into a T-bone steak. Before all that, before your car turned into a modified, what was the car like? How was it handling? And then how was it handling afterwards, Brandon?
I mean, it was like a little slower down the straight, not like a whole lot. And especially the tunnel turn, I could feel it being a little bit tighter, after the damage. But before the damage, it drove really, really good. I had zero complaints with the car. It hooked up good as long as you hit your marks and you were smart with the throttle. What can I say? It was a good race car.
So yes, now forward on to Darlington.
So when's the next Wayland Modified Series race? Because I'm going to enter that bitch. Watch me do it.
Right? Yeah, that would be another heck of a series to maybe try to get some people like take those everywhere too. Let's go to Motor America. Why not? They used to go to the Glen. I don't know if they still do or not. But anyway,
they used to throw it on the Glen. They did.
Yeah, exactly. Anywho,
I always liked race the modifieds in NASCAR Heat 5.
Yes,
not NASCAR Heat 5, but 2005 Chase for the Cup.
Yes,
the modifieds.
They were in 05, 06, and I think all the way up until 08, and then they got taken out. And 09. But yes, I remember those. Those were cool. You could own your own team in the career modes.
Oh yeah. And you had that road course, the fantasy road course, and you pitted on that big long straight on the right hand side, and there's like that pit wall hanging out. I always shoved them guys right to the freaking tires. Good times. All right, back on track here.
Darlington.
I just derailed Will's momentum there.
Oh, you're good, buddy. Hey, sometimes you talk to the winner just a tad bit longer. It's only 9:05. It's okay.
Oh, it's still early. Well, for you, that's 10:05 over here.
Anywho, we got a few extra minutes here. Darlington next week. Austin talked about trying not to get a Darlington stripe. Both Jaden and Austin talked about, tire conservation. We know you're good about doing that anyway, but what's your preparation and mindset going into Darlington, Brandon?
I love Darlington. I've gotten several wins in different series at that track, but they hit it right on the nail. The main thing is keeping the right side of the car clean and avoiding that notorious Darlington stripe. Keeping the right rear on it as well as the right front, that's going to be the key. Because you lose the right rear, you're going to be loose off of 2. You lose the right front, you're going to be tied into 3, and it's just going to be a plow horse. So it's going to be a balancing act for these guys coming into next week. So should be interesting to watch.
I do say so myself. What did you think of the windy conditions here tonight? The final question, and then I'll let you slow up yours with final thoughts and shout outs and everything.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know it was windy outside. It never really moved the car around for me a whole lot. I don't know if it's due to the lack of bumper or or what have you, but it didn't move around a whole lot.
All right, well, yes, final thoughts, shout outs, anything else there, Brandon?
Nah, I just want to thank all the drivers who come out to race tonight. Thank everybody who watched at home, and thank the broadcast booth as always. Y'all put on a great show every week, and we look forward to Darlington, and maybe we can be having similar conversations next week.
Well, best of luck to you at Darlington, Charlotte as well, Saturdays. So see you there.
That's gonna be a ball.
Yeah,
I love
different
freaking
bet
Charlotte.
channels, same bet time. But as always, see you there, Brandon. Congratulations tonight. Go celebrate it, man.
We gonna do it. Woo!
Bub.
Alright, see you.
Well,
Well,
I'll run.
oh yeah, wild run indeed, everybody. I mean, really, Jaden, I think, truly was the only car. Jaden and Austin, maybe the only cars that didn't have any damage out there, but everybody else just got caught up in something. But yes, congratulations to all the drivers here tonight. Love to see the crowd here this evening that we had, just not on track, but also coming out, viewing us, rooting on your favorite BNR competitors, and final race results, as we mentioned earlier. See them on screen now. Brandon Moore wins the race. Austin Moore second. Jaden Sanchez, Jason Pearson, Christopher Campbell rounds out the top 5. Tyler Myers, Justin Steves, Pete Woodrum, Aaron Bradford, and Joe Stipe top 10. Clint Havel, Chris Cornett, and Paul Lawson. Ron Hunter did not grid. That was the final race results of tonight's BNR Bearded Bear Customs Fixed Cup Series on Thursdays here tonight. Brian, outstanding race. Everybody, I feel like for the most part was trying to drive a smart, clean race. Track was super slick tonight. Every driver was battling those conditions. Brandon Moore won that fight tonight, and they're going next week to Darlington. We hope to see each and every one of you there next week. And Saturday, we will have the BNR Bearded Bear Customs Cup Series on Saturdays with me and Chris Camari at 15 Studios from Charlotte Motor Speedway, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern start time there. So hope